Hello, welcome to the Trial and Podcast. I'm your host, Bo. This is my co-host, Denny.
People's host, Danny. Thank you.
Sorry, mate. COVID in Melbourne, lockdown. It's putting game one at risk.
Mm-hmm.
So the NRL has tossed up some contingency plans there.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they could be going, if they can't go to Melbourne, which I think they're going to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, Canberra, Perth, Adelaide. What's your preference there?
Oh, don't really have a preference.
I would love to see it at Optus Stadium. That's in Perth, isn't it?
Optus?
Yeah.
I think so.
Why not there?
Yeah, sure.
Or
Take
at the
Perth.
Adelaide Oval. Or even at GIO. But no, they
Such
wouldn't
a
have
great
it.
stadium.
They wouldn't have it at GIO. They would probably go to that where they play the cricket in Canberra. Can't remember what that's called.
No idea.
Anyway, speaking of Origin,
Mm-hmm.
we sat here, and as we often do, we sat here and we said, well, there's no way Angus Crichton doesn't get off his charge. Well, he didn't get off.
No, yeah, I saw.
Yeah, so... And then again, we sat here and said, Wade Graham. Well, Wade Graham comes in. I've changed my mind.
What are you thinking?
I've gone Isaiah Yeo into the back row, into the starting squad. Thoughts?
Mate, I disagree.
So you got Wade coming in?
I said it and I'll stick with it. I'm a man, I'm a word.
You hardly
You
are.
always change your mind every day. There's always something.
There's always something.
There
Because I'm
is
constantly thinking, evolving.
There's what, sorry?
I'm constantly thinking and evolving. That's why.
No. No.
So what? You're sticking with Wade Graham? I've got Wade Graham coming in the squad, but I've got Isaiah Yeo on the edge.
No, I'll stick to Wade Graham. I think he'll get the spot.
Do you think RCG gets a chance? I've seen him in a lot of sides. I think it'll be Safidi, Paulo, and Haas. I think
Yeah,
they'll
me
go
too.
3 props.
I don't think RCG gets a crack.
And then you play Jake Travojevic as the other one.
Yeah, no, I don't think he comes into the team.
All right, potentially a bigger out, Cam Munster. That'd be a huge loss for Queensland.
Yeah.
6 for Queensland. This is probably a tougher question.
Yeah, well, you'd probably go Ben Hunt, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Norman's been probably playing pretty well too. And he has played for Queensland before as well.
I'd be picking Ben Hunt over him.
Yeah. I don't know. Ben Hunt is a runner though, so that could help.
Yeah, well, that's who I'd pick anyway. Ben Hunt.
And then we did.
What was not in the conversation.
What about Callum Ponga to 6? You bring in maybe Brimson to play fullback.
No. I like Caleb at fullback.
I think Brimson done a good job though last year in that game 1. He was injured most of that game.
Yeah, he did, but I'd rather have Caleb Ponga at the back.
Yeah. Jeez, it's just so many injuries. Kalen's down on form a little bit too. He's been injured a lot of the year. Another one that was a point of contention when I did announce the side was Dynamis Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not going Dynamis Louis, well, I would have Pat Carrigan, Josh Papali'i, obviously, and Lindsay Collins all in front of him.
All on
But
the
they're all
starting
out.
side.
They're all out. So, if you had to find someone that's not Dynamis Louis, because we did argue about that for a while.
There's not. Queensland don't have many options in that position.
Well, Paul Green's the coach. Paul Green knows Francis Molo. Is he a chance? Cohen Hess, if he's fit in the front row, he's kind of found a second wind moving into the front row this year too. Because the Dynamis Louis has only played 3 games this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems to be the story with almost everyone.
Yeah.
Like, heaps of people have had heaps of injuries.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'd go Cohen Hess. Maybe off the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's well, the teams get announced this week, so I wanted to lock in our side. I'm willing to forego Dynamis. I'm willing to drop him.
Yep.
Do we bring in Cohen Hess? Is that who we're thinking? Because there's not a lot. There's not a lot of front rowers. We've already got Mo Fodawaker. It's such a
Christian Welsh.
Christian Welsh. Well, he's a lock, yeah.
No.
No, you're keeping Dynamis.
I'm keeping Dynamis.
I'm going to change mine. I'll bring in Hess.
Okay, you bring in Hess. I'll keep Dynamis.
All right. And the last point before we get into the Q&A, the George Williams fiasco.
Oh,
Now, it was announced yesterday that he'd been granted a release and he'd been sniffing around for a release for a while. Everyone knew that.
Mm-hmm.
It was announced yesterday that he was granted that release and parted way with the club. And then there was a lot of headlines saying he walked out of the club, didn't show up to training, da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And then George Williams bit back and he had something to say about that. What are your thoughts on that? We shared it on our Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw that he was released by the Raiders. I didn't see what George Williams had said, and I sent it to you, and I was like, "Oh, have a look at this."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, check out the Instagram story." So
Well,
I had a look at it.
I'll read the quote.
Yeah.
He said, Fox League released an article saying, London calling how George Williams dumped the Raiders by text.
Mm.
And then he replied, false. I text to complain my mental well-being to the welfare manager. I asked for a release weeks ago for the end of the season. Not once did I ask for an immediate release, but instead of supporting me, the club kicked me out the door. Plus, I haven't even signed the release. Now that is just crazy. But terrible look for the club.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Well, the club even came out and said that they offered him that support, that
Yeah.
mental welfare support or whatever, and then he's come out and said, no, they didn't.
Yeah, well, the line that stood out to everyone was, like, instead of supporting me, they kicked me out the door.
Mm.
Now, we've sat here a lot of weeks and talked about the Raiders. We had Joseph Tarp and his wife come out against the coach earlier in the year.
Yep.
This is happening. Josh Papali, he's been in and out of the side. He said he's had his own issues. Everyone's pretty much down on form at the club. Jared Croker is reportedly fit, but isn't playing. And he's the club captain.
Mm.
There's obviously something going on. Has Ricky lost the locker room, do you think? Has Ricky lost the players? Because there seems to be rifts everywhere.
Mm.
Josh Hodgson is apparently gone after this year. He's not going to re-sign. You can't imagine Joseph Tarpon is going to be there past this year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I couldn't really comment on if he has or hasn't. I couldn't tell you.
You wouldn't see this many players talking out publicly against, like, Wayne Bennett, no matter how they're going. You know what I mean? Or Trent Robinson. It's just not a good look for the Raiders at all. For a team that a lot of people thought they'd be pushing big things this year.
Yeah.
And they've dead set gone backwards.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. No idea.
Now, you're putting a line for them. They can't make the 8.
No, yeah, put a line through them.
Sam Williams will come in for George Williams. Is he a top 8 halfback?
No. Probably one of the worst.
Jesus, that's a rough call.
Oh, I mean, it is what it is.
You reckon he's one of the worst?
Who would you say is better than him?
Better?
Oh no, sorry, worse. Sorry,
Probably Gamble.
Tyson Gamble.
Mm.
So you got one.
Yeah, so off the top of your head, I always liked Sam Williams. I thought he was alright. He's a taller, hard worker.
Fringe first grader.
That's rough as. Alright, go.
Alrighty, so straight into the Q&A then, I guess, after that. Rightio, so a question from Jordan. I want to screw up your last name. Jordan Can Siani. Yeah, anyway. Paris still a chance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, me too.
I think they were carved up on the weekend. I think their right edge was terrible.
Yeah, we got a couple of questions on
The right edge.
the right edge.
Well, that Josh Schuster, he was the key on the weekend. He was out. Unbelievable. Everything come off him.
Yeah.
Watched a good video on YKTR. Isaac John broke down how Manly like to play.
Yeah.
And he said they get to that right upright and they play they try and play 6 and 4 like defenders wise, because apparently there's 10 people in the defensive line at any one time, 2 markers and a fullback, and then you play either side of the field, and they like to attack at 6 players from the right upright. And he broke it down really well, and it's exactly what they did to Para on the weekend. They got to that right upright constantly and had shots at their right side defence all day and just carved them up. It's really good to watch.
Maybe I should have watched that.
Maybe Para should have watched that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, Nash Williams 10. Thoughts on Sam Verrills?
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. He's just been a bit unlucky with injuries. Like,
Yeah.
what did he do? He did his ACL or something.
Did his ACL last year.
And then he comes back, plays a game, and then I think he tore a retina at training or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's terrible. Like, I think he's a hard worker too.
Yeah, no, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Just a bit unlucky this year with his injuries.
Yeah.
Sefton.13, you think Warriors can do you think the Warriors can make the 8?
I think there's going to be a few spots going for that last 2 spots.
Yeah.
Because you think at the start of the year you had the Raiders in the 8.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not making the 8.
And the Knights.
And the Knights and the Titans, that rounded out me 8.
Yeah.
Now the Titans are definitely still a chance, but it
they're
probably
just
opens up a spot there for someone. I think.
Manly.
Oh,
I think Manly are.
Well, Manly.
I think they're a lock.
I think Manly take the Raiders spot. So kick the Raiders out, give it to Manly, and then you got one spot there for the likes of the Knights, the Titans, the Warriors, the Cowboys. I think they're all a chance for that last spot.
Cowboys. Wishful thinking, mate.
I think they're going well. I think they're starting to find. They just got to defend. But then again, the Titans have got to defend.
That's right. Yeah.
So there's a couple of teams there that are just leaking points everywhere. Where the Warriors, I don't know. They've been pretty inconsistent as well.
Yeah. So that.
Do you got them making the 8? Do you have them making the 8?
Oh, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say for that last spot.
Yeah. That last spot is a few teams could get that spot.
Yeah.
Anyway, Marley Power 6. As a Para fan, I think Murata should start over Blake. Thoughts? Yes.
Well, I'll defer to you.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to you about it after the Para game. I was thinking Niokore should just come back into that spot. While Blake's just is defensively, he's just a liability.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Terrible on the weekend. That was just so bad.
Yeah, and well, that was Para's problem last year as well.
Yeah.
I think their right edge defense was probably one of the worst in the comp.
I
mean, you get rid of him, and I mean, it was pretty solid there while he was out.
I'll tell you what, he's copped it this week. Everywhere on social media, he has copped it.
It's like that's the only place Manly scored.
Yeah,
they went left. They score.
Yeah, well, like we said on the show on Monday, you can critique a player's performance and a team's performance without personally attacking that person as well. Like it's just a game. Like what's he meant to do? Like he can't tackle. He obviously can't tackle.
No, you can't.
And Para would know that. Para put him in a position where they come up against Tom. Tom's been sweeping left all year, right? And they put him in a position where he's got to defend Tom, Josh Schuster. I mean, you got to help him out a little bit there, but he shouldn't be there.
No, 100%.
And I don't think he will be going forward.
No, me neither. Anyway, Josh O'Connell, 07. Can Manly win the comp if Turbo stays fit?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think they'd, as we said on Monday,
they're top 4 side.
They're top 3, I thought. They're on par with Melbourne, just a little bit below Penrith.
Yeah, well, everyone's below Penrith, I think.
Yeah. Alrighty, yeah. Mixed Mal 01. Is Danny Poor drunk?
Are you?
No. I don't understand where that's going on.
Have you backed more winners than Mixed Mal?
Our winners?
Yeah.
Like, what, on the dogs or horses?
Everywhere?
Probably.
Yeah. Mixed Mal, good friend of the show. Go check them out, guys. They're good stuff.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook,
yep.
all that good stuff. Another one from Mixed Mal is Danny a Jinx.
Yes.
Yeah, when I go to a live Parramatta game, they always lose, so I have banned myself from Parramatta games.
You're a dead set jinx. You know, you were we floated the idea of going to the Manly Para game, and apparently that's enough. Like if you think about going, it's out.
Yeah, go on.
By the way, without even talking about the Para game this week, Danger game.
Yep.
Don't even know who they're playing.
No.
All right.
That's Danger game. Ella Bridge 07. Can you cover the young guns, Sam Walker, Reece Walsh, Matt Burton, etc.?
Outstanding.
Yeah, all really good.
I was going to do this. You know how they every in the NBA and that they do a draft every year.
Yep.
I wanted to look back, do a podcast, and we look back and we rate who would have been drafted number 1 that year.
We should do a draft.
Top 5 every year.
We should do a draft.
Well, we should do a rookie draft.
Yeah,
I reckon
draft.
we might do that after Origin. But this year, there's so many good young players. Many good young players.
There is.
Sam Walker, killing it.
Reece Walsh.
I would love him in the 18 jersey for Queensland, to be honest. Just imagine if someone gets HIA and he gets to come out there and just do his thing off the cuff. I'd love that.
Mate, well, you even got to think about it. He could be a bloody Smokey for the sixth
Well, so I
spot.
was thinking that, but he's only started one game at 6, and it was against a Cowboys side that can't really defend. And he carved them up, but they're not playing that good.
I mean, maybe he's the future.
Yeah, definitely the future. And then who we missed? Schuster. I've talked about him so much.
Schuster.
He's added another dynamic to that left edge for Manly, and he's got to stay in the 12.
He does.
Has to. I think he's killing it.
I mean, he played in the 6 on the weekend, and he did really well. So.
Yeah, I like him having the option to run, play short, play at the back. I guess you can do that at 6 as well, but he's just looking brilliant.
And he's a big boy.
Anyone else we missed? Laurie's killing it for the
Dan
Tigers.
Murray, yeah.
There's plenty of talent in the NRL. It's good to see.
Yeah, a whole bunch. Anyway, a couple of questions from Andrew Backhouse, sorry. Thoughts on RCG, high tackle, does he deserve 1 week? And how is Wonga Blake still in the starting side? We touched on the Wonga Blake thing. He shouldn't be. We don't know how he still is. RCG, he's high tackle.
I don't remember.
I think it was in the second half. I wasn't watching anymore, so
I don't remember it. Sorry.
so
I
it
should
probably
have looked
wasn't too bad. So probably
Did he get a week?
he got a week, yeah.
That probably hurts him for Origin too, knowing that he's not going to play this week.
Yeah, they still reckon he might. If he was a chance, I don't think that 1 week has
Yeah.
any effect on his selection.
I think
chances.
so. Wonga Blake's picked this week.
No.
No, he hasn't been picked.
What do you mean?
No, is he in this side this week? I haven't looked.
I haven't looked either.
Okay, we'll leave it. We'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, and the second question from Andrew is: if Munster is out for the first game, who do you think? Oh, it's not. Who do you think? Do you think Sam or Walsh is getting called for the 6?
Nah,
Low chance, but
very low chance. Especially Sam.
Sam Walken.
He's the future, but I think give him this off season, and they'll get some protein into him or something and
bulk
beef
up.
him a little bit, because he'd be an absolute liability out there at the moment, even though he's a gun.
Yeah, he's good.
And Reece Walsh, I think Reece Walsh is a bigger chance than Sam Walker, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Pardon me. Okay, a couple questions from Reed 207. Go to ice cream, apparently.
Maxi Bond?
Oh, go to ice cream. Okay.
What could you possibly think it was?
I don't know. I was like, go to ice cream. Where's ice cream? That's what I was thinking. How can I go to ice cream?
You're seriously something else. What's your go-to ice cream, mate?
My go-to ice cream, of late, I've really been liking, it's like the dairy milk hazelnut chocolate.
Okay.
I really like that, man.
A bar of chocolate, or is it an ice cream?
No, it's an ice cream.
Okay.
It's like you have an ice cream and then you cover it in the hazelnut chocolate.
Okay. Well, Tori likes Magnums. She likes just the classic Magnum.
Really?
That's her go-to. Boring.
She's so boring.
I know.
Why'd you marry her?
I know. No, but the Maxi Bonds, any kind actually. I like any Maxi Bond.
Maxi ones are good, actually.
Yeah, I could go a Maxi Bond. Maybe after this we go get some Maxi Bonds.
Maybe. I like they're like the chocolate bars,
Yeah.
like the Snickers and Mars bar, but they have them like ice cream.
Look, we love talking rugby league here, but you ask any other question, we perk up a little bit. Anyone wants to send in any Maxi Bonds to the show?
Yeah,
just send them in. Send them in.
And
We'll crack
review
them.
them.
We'll crack them live.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, Ranga 76. Oh no, sorry, Reed. His second question: Matt Burton in the Origin squad this year.
I spoke to you about it just before we went on. Every single week, it gets closer and closer to me saying yes.
Nah,
And Danny's against it.
I'm against it.
I think if you're gonna pick Crichton, I'd pick Burton
You'd pick
instead
Burton over
of Crichton.
Mate, why don't you just pick the whole Panthers team?
They'd probably win, but a lot of them can't be picked. Apparently, there's a report going around today that Freddie's closer to picking White than Luai.
Really?
Yeah,
Jeez, well there you go.
which I hope that's not true.
Well, hold on. I've got a question. Is the whole Panthers backline from New South Wales? So Charlie Staines, I'm pretty sure he's a New South Welshman.
They might be.
Brian Toto is.
Yeah.
Is Dylan Edwards?
I'd say so.
He is.
Yeah,
And then both the centres are and both the halves are.
that's good.
Just pick the Panthers side.
pick the Panthers back line.
Yeah, just pick the Panthers backline. See how you go.
They'd probably win.
I don't know about that.
Mate, combinations is everything in Origin.
Yeah, well, maybe.
So the Queensland side that won for how many years straight, that core group was together for a decade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just happened that they were some of the best players to ever play in that position, but they're together a long time.
Pretty much all on the same team. The Billy Slater, Cam Smith, Coop Cronk.
Yeah.
Anyway,
your
Rangus-
favourite players.
Pardon?
They're your favourite players, aren't they?
Yeah. Anyway, Rangus 76. Who do you have for the Tigers versus the Dragons? Tigers.
Yeah. What is it?
Tigers versus
Is
Dragons.
it the fortnight the Tigers win now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Tigers.
Tigers. Yep. Tigers. The Kai Ferrari. Oh, Jesus.
Kai Fieri network.
Yep. What should Milford's asking price be, and what team could use him? He doesn't have an asking price anymore.
He doesn't.
It's beggars can't be choosers. What team could use him? I know a couple in England.
I can't add anything to that. Move on.
Rightio.
That was great. Beggars
Ken
can't be
RT.
choosers.
Do you think RTS would be alright playing at lock? No.
Nah.
A lot of tackling. He's never played in a position where tackling is big.
Yeah, where he has to make
Lots of tackles.
effort on effort on effort.
So
Probably
I
hurt
think
him.
if
in
he
the
has to
attack.
tackle a lot, it takes a lot away from his running game, and I don't think he'd be, as impactful.
Mate, you're taking over this podcast. Yep, I can't add anything to that either.
All right, there you go. M. Tej, one retro jersey you want to own. Just my own team. Para.
No, I'm my favourite retro jersey is that Queensland one. That's a really nice one. I don't know. That's a good question. There's heaps out there. There's heaps of really. Oh, I like the old Warriors where they just used to wear the black and white strip. That's not their full retro jersey. Their retro jersey they kind of wear now, which it's green and red and that.
Yeah.
I like the old Warriors black and white strip. It's hard to think off the top of my head about my favourite jerseys. But there's a couple out there. The old Parramatta one with just the yellow V and the predominantly blue. That was nice too.
Yeah. Well.
There's heaps out there. I would love to just get a full collection of retro jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have just a big collection of retro jerseys. I'd love that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Thanks, Tej. M. Tej. Bailey Gifford 12. I believe that Connor Watson should get the 14 jersey for New South Wales because you can play him anywhere.
He can play anywhere. I think there's a lot of people ahead of him to get that jersey.
Yeah, he can play fullback, 6. Don't think he can play 7. Probably playing the centres.
Yeah, no, I like his thinking. He plays in forwards too.
Yeah.
But
lock back row, could play anywhere.
there's so many good utilities going around.
Yeah.
I'd have Jack White ahead of him, and that's probably the way they'll go.
Yeah, I don't think he should.
Not a bad shout though. He is a good player. I think he's good.
He's a good player. I don't think he should get the 14 jersey though.
Not for New South Wales. No.
Yeah, no. Maybe if he can keep on improving and
Do you think if he went to a team? Do you think if he went to a Melbourne? Do you reckon he would be one of the better players in the comp?
I think he would. Yeah.
Yeah. I think at the moment they're in such a bad situation at the Knights. He's a player you put in a team that can be successful. He would. His career would go to another level. He'd be an Origin player in 12 months.
Yeah, 100%. Alrighty, let's get this one right. Northland. I don't know. What is that one?
Mate, I'm not
NTHLDN.
Oh no, it's the North Queensland. Queensland. That's the one, eh? Yeah, it's North Queensland.
All right. Thoughts on the Cows youth, and do you think Tuolangi can become a star?
Yeah.
You think he can?
Yeah. I think we do develop outside backs too. Just we need centres, but he had a really strong game. Good ball runner. It's good to see.
Yeah.
We have a history of having decent wingers too. Like we got the Hammer, we got him. Kyle Felt's been good for a long time. Before that, Ashley Graham was a gun. Matt Sings, Ty Williams. So yeah, I think he can.
I don't think he can. I think Star's a bit of a big.
So where do you put Stars for like a winger? I'm talking a star on the wing.
A star on the wing would have been Semi Rudrajo when he played. Josh Adokar, he's a
Good
star.
ball runner. Good ball runner.
There's probably Haslam.
Yeah,
He was a star.
he was good. Yeah, not a great ball runner. He probably wouldn't be great in today's game.
No, I don't think so.
You think?
He was a good finisher.
I think today your wingers have to be good ball runners. Otherwise, they're not going to succeed. If they can't run the ball, they can't do the hard yards out of the back. They do more work than ever. I think Manik Avalu has shown you got to work hard to be a good winger, and he's one of the hardest working wingers going around. He'll be the first one to put his hand up for that big run.
That tough run.
He's playing really good, Matty. I think when they're fully fit, he doesn't make that squad. I'd love to see him go to another team and progress that way and get some full-time starting minutes.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on the Cows youth? We'll talk about that as well. The young guns.
Yeah, it is what it is. I think Todd Payton's doing a good. He's trying to get players in the club with a bit of experience to help these kids along. I think for a long time we had players in the club that were happy to throw on a jersey and play first grade. Yeah. And he's putting some onus on that at the moment. I'd love to see Tom Dearden get an early release from Brisbane and come and move Clifford to the Knights. Do that straight away. Just rip off the band-aid. Tom Dearden's sitting in reserve grade doing nothing. He's not a reserve grade halfback.
Yeah.
Like we just said before, if Sam Williams is playing first grade and Tyson Gamble's playing first grade, it's an absolute travesty that Tom Dearden's not playing first grade right now.
Yeah. Especially under Tyson Campbell.
So if you're not going to use him, release him to the Cows. Cows can release Jake Clifford. If the Knights desperately need a half.
They do.
So that just helps the Knights as well. Everyone benefits from that.
Not the Broncos.
So, I guess.
Maybe that's why they're holding on to him.
How's Milford's back in the team?
Yeah, no.
Crazy. All right.
I'm having a lot of testy pops today.
Yeah, I don't know. You're in fine form. Other than that, I love where the Cowboys are at. I don't know if it's the game, where the game's at in defence, or if it's the Cowboys, but they need to fix that up.
Maybe a bit of a mixture.
Well, there's only one team that's defending well in today's game, really. Penrith.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, anyway. Moving on to the next question. What are your thoughts on Reece Walsh?
Oh, he's outstanding.
He's a superstar.
That's a superstar.
Yeah.
And he's done it at fullback and 5'8" already.
Off the bench.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Where do you think his position is? It's hard to say. Fullback?
Yeah, fullback.
Bit of open space?
Yeah, a bit of open space. I mean, you can still do pretty much the same thing as 6 does.
They're very similar now.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. The only thing is, you got to do more tackling at 6.
Yeah. So, yeah, keep him at 1. That's his spot. I
love that RTS just played wherever he want. It was similar to the way Tommy played in that when he come back to Origin, played in the centres. Remember that year down in Melbourne? But he didn't play in the centres. He just played wherever he wanted.
Yeah. Well, when they put up kicks, he was in the middle of the field.
Exactly.
Right next to the kicker.
He just played wherever he wanted. And the good players do that. The good players go and get the ball.
Yeah, just defend in the centres and in attack, just roam.
Get the ball.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
That's what RTS will do. Maybe that helps the Warriors a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
This little swap for them. Remember, they still got Adam Fanua-Blake to come back into this side too.
Yeah. So. Well, RTS, he had a good game on the weekend on the wing. He scored.
Great, yeah. I rattled off his stats on the Monday show. Yes. He put up numbers, man.
Try assist.
I think he's still almost ran for 300 metres.
I think you said 279. I think was the stat. But yeah, mate. Yeah, good.
If he can have that impact from the wing, and then do pretty little tackling out there as well, so he still has that energy for the attack, could be a godsend for him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the questions from the Q&A.
Let's get... Well, no, we're going to do our tips separate.
Are we?
Yeah, we're going to do our tips separate. But they're both going to be out at the same time. So make sure if you've watched this show, go check out our tips. And if you've watched the tips show, this all means nothing. All right, anyway, check out our other social medias and we'll see you over there.